If you're wondering what my job is during this video, it's playing cleanup crew because, like many other women, my husband is a tornado when he does projects. Case in point, clean up, clean up.
Brr!
I thought this was spring.
It got cold again, guys, so we're heading to the garage to add some parts to the bagger. We're getting kind of a motorcycle used lot here. We have Lady Devil's Kawasaki, we got the scooter, we got the Street Bob over there, we got the bagger, we got the old bag.
Hey, get over here.
The other day when I was training Heather here on how to ride her motorcycle, we were talking about pulling up to stoplights and stop signs and people rear-ending you because they're not paying attention. And it got me thinking that I need to do something to the bagger to make us a little more visible while we're on the road. All my lighting on the back of the bike is stock until now. So where do you turn to when you need lighting for your motorcycle?
Ciro3d.
These are the Ciro3d filler panel lights. They go in between your saddlebag and your fender. They kind of fill that gap there a little bit and make you a little more visible. They actually have two different styles. They have this style, which is the orange turn signal with a clear lens. They do have a newer style that's a little less expensive. It's a red lens with a red bulb, if that's more your style. I prefer the amber, so that's why I went with this style. So what we're gonna do today is a little quick how-to on how to install these, and I'll show you guys what they look like on an Ultra Limited with the long bar turn signal, because I'm probably not gonna take those off just yet. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
If you guys have ever bought anything from Ciro, they always send some really awesome colored instructions. Just kidding, I need those. First thing you gotta do is take your saddlebag off. One thing I do want to mention is when I got these lights, I looked on the box and it said 2014 and up motorcycles. And I was a little confused because mine's a 2011 and that's what I ordered. So I got a hold of Ciro and they said they're the same light, but the earlier models come with the rickrack brackets. So the bracket mounts in here like this, and then the light will mount into that. So if you get your lights and the box says 2014 and up, don't worry, they'll still work on your 2011 Ultra Limited. The first thing you're going to want to do is drill this hole out. It's a little small from the factory and you're going to drill that out to 1/4 inch. All right, then you have to take this bolt out, which is a T40. Make sure you guys stick around for the full video because I'm going to do each side a little bit different and try to decipher which way is easier to do it. And then at the end, I'll show you how to adjust everything, button it all up, make it look really good. With the rickrack kit that comes with the 09 to 13 models, it comes with a little tube of anti-seize and some bolts. So all we're gonna do is put a bolt here with some anti-seize on it, and then we'll do that one. So if you've ever dealt with anti-seize before, you don't need a ton, because the more you get, the more you're gonna get on your clothes. These are a nylon nut that comes with it, so it'll kind of lock into place. Before we tighten that up, I'm going to put this bolt in. And since we have the anti-seize, I'm going to go ahead and put some on this too. This hole is slotted, so when you get your bags and stuff on, you can adjust that to make sure the spacing on each side is the way you want it. I'm just going to snug this up a little bit and I'll finish tightening after we get everything hooked up. Same with this one, I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit so we can still move it after the fact. All right, we have two mounting points here that are going to mount up on this side of this bracket. So all we have to do is feed our wire through first. Those tabs go on the inside. So I'm going to try to put this one in with the bracket mounted first, and then I'm going to put the light in. And then the other side, I think I'm going to put it together first and then try to mount it on the bike and kind of see which way is easier to do. I'm just going to put a washer and the nut behind it. You don't have to go super tight with these, you guys, because it's a plastic tab. Obviously, if you go too tight, it's going to break it, most likely. It's got a nylon nut on it, so the bolt itself is going to be locked into that nut, and you're going to be fine. My verdict is it's easier to put the light in the bracket outside like this. We'll see how the bracket goes on the other side though. keep those chips off the belt. So now we got to pull the seat off because all of our wiring connections that we're going to go into are under the seat. Now you've got to get this wire up under the seat. The instructions are mostly for the 14 and ups, which have a little different mounting system, especially for this bike because I have a detachable tour pack on it. So we're gonna have to try to figure out how to get this wire up under the seat without having it exposed. All right guys, what I did is I zip tied one down here on this bracket. I did this one in the middle, just around this post. There's no eyelet or anything under here I can use. And then there is an eyelet under here that you can use, just a little hole. And I just kind of made it tight enough. Made sure everything was up in here. I can always take the slack out up front. That way we're not interfering with our shock or our wheel, which would be very bad. So that's kind of how I routed that side. Okay, just so you guys know, on both sides, I'm bringing this up between the fender and the frame, right in this area. That's given me a good spot to come up to get in there. Both sides have it, really easy. And I'll add it to the already plethora of wires underneath my seat. So on this side, guys, I put the same back zip tie on, but in the middle, I ended up going around my air valve, which I don't use anymore because we have the Legends on here now. So I zip tied it to that because it seemed like a little more secure spot. And then on the front one, I actually ran it up just a little bit behind and then over this bolt that holds the fender on because it seemed like it had less of a bind on this side doing it that way. And then I zip tied it right here where the frame kind of mounts to the fender a little bit. There's a little bracket that's spot welded on. I just kind of went around that. It seemed like a pretty good spot to do it where it wouldn't rub through the wires. Okay, the next step is we have to find our connector that goes to our rear tail light and turn signals. It's really easy to find. It's just mounted right here to the back, and you can tell because the wire goes inside the fender. Then we plug our Ciro harness in line with that. Then all we do is plug our wires into these. The one with the brown wire is on your right side, and the one with the violet wire is your left side. They should be hooked up. We're gonna turn the key on, see if they work. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm.
Those look awesome.
Let's try the turns.
They work.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this bar yet. I may take it off, put some filler bolts in there to kind of expose these a little bit. We'll see. Now that it's installed, I'm gonna clean up the wires, cut the zip ties a little bit. We'll get the bags put back on, and then I'll show you guys how to adjust these. Okay guys, the only thing I'm doing to line these up, it's super easy. I'm just kind of making sure the gap between my fender at the top and the bottom is equal, and also on the saddlebag. I'm not super picky with this kind of stuff. I want everything straight, but I'm not gonna spend a ton of time pulling stuff on and off because this bike's a rider. If your bike sees a lot of bike shows and a lot of things like that, maybe you want to take the extra time. They do send extra washers to shim the brackets. If that's your thing, go for it. But what I'm going to do is if I line these up perfectly, the bottom kind of hits my bumper light bracket here. Not all bikes have this bumper light, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm just going to kick these over just a little bit so it's away from that. It does open up the gap a little bit in this bottom side, but like I said, I'm not that concerned with it. So I kind of set them up. I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten this bottom bolt and we'll be done. I probably will take the saddlebags back off when I get that and just make sure I got this top bracket tight, and then we're done. That's all there is to it, guys. Super easy install, and I think they make the back of the bike look awesome. And as always, there'll be a link for this product down in the description in case you want to pick up your own. Let them know I sent you. I'll appreciate it. So will Lady Devil. I appreciate my camera woman on this one. And we'll see some of you guys down at Spring Fling down in Arkansas, Eureka Springs. We're looking forward to it. We'll catch you then.
Bye guys.
All right, let's go.
Wait for me!